I know that so many of you are really excited about the prospect of working online, but you're a little bit unsure because it's like, well, is everybody doing it now? Everybody's working from home now because the pandemic, it's going to be so oversaturated. Or maybe you just are still not convinced that it's for you, or that people really are doing this for real or making good money doing this. And so I want to talk about the 10 reasons why you should start right now. It is the perfect time to get going. So let's do it right now. First, I'm going to start with 3 opportunities that you want to be aware of why this is such a pivotal time in the remote work movement. Then I'm going to go into a whole bunch of other reasons why just personally you may want to think about it and why this may be the best time for you in your life right now. So we're going to get really tactical with some facts, and then we're going to get really just dig deep into your soul. Okay, here we go. So the truth is, even before COVID-19, before this pandemic, before any of that happened, work was already moving virtually and already moving into the remote space for a couple of different reasons. And you can Google all of this if you want. It's all facts. I'll give you some actual facts though too. But it's because there's talent that is around the world. And just because my company and my presence as the CEO is located in North Carolina, doesn't mean that I don't want to hire somebody who is in Germany. And the great thing about the internet is that it's made the playing field level so that somebody in Bangladesh can work online and somebody in Germany can work online, and they could both be working for an American company. And so that is the future of remote work and where it's going right now. And companies want to be able to hire from a talented pool around the world. And so if that's what's happening, they don't want to have to do all these crazy immigration visas and bring people here and blah, blah, blah. And so wherever you're at in the world is a perfect time to start working from home, because all of these businesses are trying to hire international talent. Also, I would say before, just within the last kind of 5 years, technology wasn't quite there to be able to work online yet. The laptops weren't strong enough. We didn't have software like Zoom or a great way to do virtual group calls very well. They were kind of shutting down and having problems. There weren't amazing tools like Slack so you could keep in communication, and project management tools that were free to use with virtual teams. They didn't have that kind of thing. But now in the last few years, all of that has come up. And so now teams more than ever are technically able to work from anywhere. And also businesses are realizing that why do I need to pay thousands and thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars of rent every single month to lease this building when people don't need to be here? They can just work from their home offices. So now I can put that money back into my business and help accelerate my business because we're not having to pay rent. Or better yet, I can hire even better talent and really reward my team for doing a great job, and they get to work wherever they want. They're happy and I'm happy because I'm saving hundreds of thousands of dollars on rent. That's not an exaggeration. That's an actual metric that I heard from a Silicon Valley company that closed their offices in San Francisco because it was $200,000 per month in real estate costs. So they closed it and took the whole team virtual and reinvested that money back into their team. It's a company called Dribble. So all these companies are already moving online. This isn't something new because of the pandemic. This is something that was already happening in places like big cities where rent is exorbitant and companies are like, what do we need to do this for? So all that's already happening. Okay, so now let's layer on top of it this pandemic that's going on, and you can see that it's exploding, because now people who weren't that wasn't even on their radar, now they're oh my gosh, our team is able to be fully functional and we don't have to be in this office anymore. Sweet, we can just be a remote company now. And so things are changing at an even faster pace than they already were. So those are just some facts of just the way that the remote work landscape is right now. Buffer is a company that we love. They're a completely remote company. And they did a survey of how many people would like to work remotely and think that working virtually is possible for them today in today's world. 99% of respondents said that yes, this is totally possible. We can be working virtually right now. And so guys, like this is already happening. It's almost just like I need you to just be like, oh, okay, let's go. I shouldn't have to convince you anymore because this is all such widespread knowledge, but it's something that I want you to hear and take in, because I think that sometimes we can be like, oh, well, all these companies now, there's all these people who want to work online now, so now I'm not going to be able to do it. Yeah, well, there was a whole bunch of people who want to be writers, but they don't do it because they don't have skills to be able to write. There's lots of people who want to be actors, but they don't know how to act and they can't get into the niche and they don't know how to do it, right? So if you learn the skills and you can qualify for the jobs and then apply for them, then you're at the top of the list. Who cares that lots of people want to be able to do it? They're not doing it, but you are. Okay, so now let's get into some of the more personal reasons why this may make sense for you to do right now. The first thing is the fact that you're here watching this, you've made it into this minute so far, means that there's something inside of you. There's a fire in your belly or something that's lighting up in your heart when you hear people talk about being able to work from home and the freedom that online work provides. And that means that this is something you need to listen to. I know that it's scary. I know that you don't know this stuff. I know that you haven't done this before. Maybe you don't know anyone who's done it before. Maybe you have friends and family that are telling you that this is all a scam, and don't listen to that crazy lady. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She's probably lying. I know that. I get it, because everybody's been there before and I get messages like that all the time. But if this is something that you really want to do, then you just need to take the next step that is presented to you. So what is the very next thing you need to do? You guys notice, like, let's start counting how many times I hit my computer every time we're talking. Maybe if I just like scooch it over. So I want you to look at the next step that is available to you, the very next one. Don't worry about, well, what's my career gonna look like in 3 to 5 years and how much money will I be able to make? All of that is just like endless. Like there's so many different things that could happen. So just to focus on the very next thing that you need to do for yourself, and then that's gonna allow you to be able to take the next steps after that. Another thing that I think we've had a huge surge of students right now, and we didn't even think about this, but you also have the time. So if you are unemployed, or if you just are furloughed right now, or you're just having to work from home and you're realizing, wow, I don't have to commute, I don't have to carry the kids all around, like I have a lot more time on my hands. Well, this is the perfect time to get this going, even if it's just a side hustle until you can build up enough hours to make it your full-time thing. Although most people who say that are like, well, I got full-time work in like a few months. I'm good. Because they don't realize the abundance amount of work that's out there. Maybe you were a student and now you're like, well, now what do I do? Because all my classes are online and I'm done at like 2 p.m. every day. Perfect time to launch some kind of an online career. Learn some online skills and get going so that you can get some money coming in right away. Speaking of college, hate to break it to you, but you do not need a college degree in order to make great money working online. I've taken my business to $1 million, probably gonna do $1 million in revenue just this year. And yes, I have a college degree, but I'm not using it for what I do online. I started as a virtual assistant making $20 per hour, just like everybody else does. And then I worked my way up until I built the business that I wanted. And so this is the coolest thing, is that the playing field is leveled right now. The person in Bangladesh can make $20 US per hour if they're offering great services, and just like the person who spent like 5 years going to a fancy coding school. They're both doing the same thing. This guy just took an online class, and this one went to Harvard or wherever they went. And so that is the amazing thing that online education has done for the industry right now. And so you can learn skills right now to make you super competitive in the virtual work industry. There's so much that you can do online. We have lots of other videos on that. I'll link to them at the end. And then you can start to just make money. Like, that's how it works now. You don't have to go to school. You don't have to like then go back and get your master's and PhD in order to qualify. Hi, that's why I quit teaching, because the only way to make more money was if I got a PhD and spent more money on education. And even then I was only gonna make like $100,000 per year. And I was like, that's not enough for me. That's why I quit. And this world, it is endless what you are able to do. I also think that there's a lot to be said for just being able to build the lifestyle that you want. So I'm in a group of people want to move. We moved to Asheville recently, and we lived in Bali for the last 3 years, and we just choose where we want to live. We feel like living here, so we're going to live here. Once we stop feeling like it, we'll go somewhere else. And this idea is such a foreign concept to people. I've heard someone like, oh, I had to move there for work, and then I lost my job, and now I'm just kind of stuck here, and I don't even know anyone. Oh my gosh, it sounds horrible. So having the freedom lifestyle to live where you want, do what you want, be location independent. If you want to go and travel for 3 years, you can. If you want to live in Bali and travel from there for 3 years, same number. You can, if you want to say, okay, it's time to move back to America. Let's go. Where do we want to live in this whole map? Let's check out of places. Okay, we picked that place. Like, you can. The world is your oyster. And I know that sometimes you have a spouse maybe that has a career that's taking them everywhere. And so you're able to align your lifestyle with theirs, and it ends up to be a way happier outcome. Maybe your kids are just like all over the place right now, and a normal job just isn't really possible with the amount of carting around you have to do, or the amount of sick time you're going to have to take off because toddlers are always sick. All of that can be eased by being able to work from home and having a flexible lifestyle. And then you'll also get to be your own boss. So raise your hand if you love having a boss and love having someone breathing down your throat all the time, anytime you do anything. Oh wait, nobody. Nobody likes that. It is the worst. I've had some great bosses in my life and I've had some terrible bosses in my life. But typically when you work from home, you get to choose. Do you want to go the employee route and be a remote employee where you have a boss, you have set hours, you have set things you have to do, or you can have still long-term people who hire you, but you get to have flex time. You don't have a boss. It's a collaboration. You get to choose. And maybe you have a part-time employee job, so you just have a boss for 20 hours a week. And maybe the rest of it, you just have different side hustles of long-term people that you do 20 hours a month for here and 10 hours a month for somebody else. You get to choose, and you do not have to have a boss if you don't want one. I can tell you on Monday, I was recovering from some food poisoning. Get this, we ordered a fancy steak dinner for Mother's Day, and then it came and it made me really sick. It was such a bummer because we've never ate out like that because we're on quarantine. It was super bummer. So anyway, I got super duper sick and was completely out on Monday. But guess what? Didn't have to call a boss. Didn't have to use up my sick time. I didn't even have to cancel any meetings or email people. Can you do this for me? Nothing. I just slept in and took the whole day off. That was it. I slept the whole day. It was great. I didn't have to tell anybody. That is the kind of freedom that being your own boss and being able to work from home brings you. Imagine if it was my kid. Like, this is why I started when my kid was 3 years old and why I started working from home. He's 9 now. But he doesn't get sick nearly as often. But back then, dude, homeboy was sick all the time. And it was so great to be able to say, okay, I'll just hang out with you at home. Because I work from home. It was pretty great. That's why I started it. And then the last thing is, since you make your own rules, like I said, you get to choose who you work for. You can choose if you want to have a boss or you don't want to have a boss. You get to choose what hours you work. Maybe you want to work evenings. Maybe you want to work weekends. Maybe you want to work 2 days a week, whatever you want. That's great. But you also get to choose how much you charge, how much you get paid, and how often you get paid. You want to get paid once a month? Great. If you want to get paid before the work is done? Great. If you want to get paid every 2 weeks, fine. If you want to charge 20 an hour, cool. If you want to charge 100 an hour, awesome. You get to choose. Now, I will say, of course, you can't be like offering data entry tasks for $100 an hour. That's not going to work. But pretty much besides data entry, customer service, and transcription, all the other online jobs start at minimum $20 US per hour. It doesn't matter where in the world you live. You can demand that rate. And that's pretty cool. And then after you start to specialize and niche a little bit, so I started to really specialize in online courses after about a year or so, I upped how much I charge for 40 to 50 an hour. Now I'm up, I don't do anything less than like 500 an hour because I just don't have time now. But I got up to 200 per hour in 2 years. So it goes a lot faster because the more skills you add into your tool belt, the more money that you are able to make in the end. So it's much more aligned instead of, let me just wait and pray and hope I get a promotion this year and maybe I'm going to get 10 extra cents per paycheck. Like, it's none of that. You get to, you're in charge of your own success, which is the most empowering thing ever. And you are in charge of how much money you make and when you work and how much you want to work. And so if that's the kind of freedom that you want, then listen up. My program, 90 Day VA, is actually enrolling right now. And I teach you all the top requested skills for virtual assistants right now. So things like podcast editing, things like video editing, podcast management, actually entirely, how to do a YouTube channel for somebody. Like, I have somebody who runs this channel for me and I pay them and they live around the world. If you would like to be able to offer some social media management, ghost writing, content repurposing, we teach anything that's being asked for. The top things right now for minimum $20 per hour, and it includes legit job postings, 40 to 60 per month, just to make sure that we're not only giving you skills, but we're also helping you to actually get a job and be able to work online. I'm going to link to a bunch of our student testimonials because I can't speak enough about everybody's success at this. It's not just me who's done well. I've brought over 2,000 students with me as well. We're growing every single month, and we're growing in the amount of job postings that we do every single month too, to make sure that all of you are able to get started right away. So if you need some online skills training to get started, if you want to be part of the online work revolution, but you just need some help getting going, if you just need some help to get going, then 90 Day VA may be the best thing for you. I will link to our enrollment page. We are enrolling for the month of May. We close May 31st at 11:59 p.m. Eastern time, and we have payment plans because we know that a lot of people are unemployed or struggling right now, and so we've actually done a super affordable payment plan for everybody. So check it out. I will link the syllabus and everything covered in the course below, and if it's right for you, then I'll see you inside of 90 Day VA. I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. It lets me know that you're watching, and it makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside to know that I'm actually helping some people. If you would like to check out some companies that are hiring remotely right now and have all remote teams, you can check out this video, and I have another helpful video for you down here.